Shruti and Vinayak from the Dram Club, India's largest and most vibrant whiskey and spirits community.
And as you can see, today's episode is all about Johnnie Walker. We are going to cover everything from its history to its core range that is available in India. So stay tuned as we are going to cover everything from its unique bottle shape to the angle of the label.
But before we get started, please like and subscribe to our channel. Here's an important fact. Johnnie Walker is not a distillery. Johnnie Walker is a brand of blended Scotch whiskies owned by Diageo, and Diageo owns multiple distilleries in Scotland.
So what a blender does is takes whiskies from different distilleries, and these could be malt whiskies or grained whiskies, and blends them together in a balance to create such exceptional whiskies that we all enjoy. And for the curious one, these are some of the distilleries that Diageo owns. Johnnie Walker is not only an iconic Scotch brand, but it's also the largest selling Scotch brand in the world, with over 23 million cases sold worldwide.
The brand Johnnie Walker was started by a man called John Walker and not Johnnie Walker. He was a teetotaler who had a grocery shop, and they used to sell teas, rums, brandies and whiskies. And over a period of time, they exclusively started selling blended whiskies.
In fact, back then, single malts were nowhere close to the smooth and exceptional single malts that we know now. They were harsh, rough and very inconsistent. So while the brand was started by John Walker, it wasn't until 1857, 10 years after his death, that his son Alexander Walker introduced these iconic square bottles. And there was a reason why he introduced these square bottles. Square bottles are sturdier, so minimizing breakage in transit and also maximizing space when they are being shipped in the cartons. And I know, Swati, you're dying to share something very unique about this label. So please.
Yes. So the labels of the bottle are placed at an angle of 24 degrees, and there are two reasons for it. One, that allows for a larger font size, and two, it increases the recognition of this bottle from a distance to a consumer, so it's easily identifiable and they can just go and pick up their favorite Johnnie Walker.
I don't think there are any, I don't know, I mean, since you are an FMCG person, I've seen a lot of beverages having an angle label or something.
I can't remember.
In whiskey, there isn't any other whiskey. But maybe is this angle patented? I don't know. We'll have to find out if this angle is patented, the way the label has been put out, right? Because it's
I mean, they would have patented the design, not the angle.
Angle, yeah. Alexander Walker created his first signature whiskey blend around late 1860s and called it Old Highland Whiskey, which came with a white label and was later discontinued. And then he added a special Old Highland Whiskey, which became Red Label, and the extra special Old Highland Whiskey, which became the Black Label.
So that was a brief history about Johnnie Walker. I think, Vinayak, without further ado, we should get started with their core range.
Yes, and as you can see, we've gone in the order of the youngest, or let's say the lowest price, to the highest price. So first up, the Johnnie Walker Blonde, the most recent entrant in this already wide and diverse range. And as you can see, the label on the bottle matches the name of the expression, blonde. Johnnie Walker Blonde is a bright, vibrant and smooth whiskey, and it was primarily introduced for making cocktails. Bottled at an ABV of 40%, you can expect notes of apples, pears, caramel, vanilla and some malt.
We have the Red Label. It is the largest selling Scotch whisky in the world. In its current form, it was introduced in 1909 by Alexander Walker, who wanted to blend a whiskey that would be more suitable to be had with ice and soda. Bottled at an ABV of 43%, you get notes of pear, vanilla, some light spice, and a smoky finish at the end.
And it's quite interesting that amongst the initial range, they start at 43%. Until before now, I did not know that the Red Label was bottled at 43%.
Yeah, and also Red Label is sold like at across 200 markets around the world.
Yeah, that's what makes it the
largest selling Scotch whisky.
It's been the largest selling Scotch whisky since about late 1940s. Next up is the Johnnie Walker Black Label 12-year-old. A real stalwart of the Scotch whisky industry, and this is the first age statement in the core range. So what it means is every whiskey that has gone inside this bottle has been aged for at least 12 years. Black Label was first introduced by Alexander Walker as extra special Old Highland Whiskey. Johnnie Walker 12-year-old is a blend of about 40 whiskies, but what we know for sure that it definitely has whiskies from Diageo's Four Corner distilleries, Cardo, Clynelish, Glenkinchie, which is the fourth one?
Kulila.
Yeah, Kulila, yes. So, and over and above, obviously, you'll have grain whiskeys from Cameron Bridge as well, and a whole host of other distilleries. So,
Yeah.
Black Label is bottled at 43%. When it comes to Black Label's flavor profile, you'll obviously get the smoke, but over and above the smoke, you also get some citrus, some honey, malt, there is some toffee, and a bit of pepper as well. So, Swati, how do you like your Black Label?
I think I also enjoy it as a whiskey soda.
Okay.
But it definitely makes for a very good penicillin. The smoky element really makes a very, very intense penicillin for me.
Okay.
Next up, we have the double black. Now, the double black was actually an interesting experiment with the Black Label. The idea was to amplify the smoky profile of the whiskey. In case of double black, more peated whiskies from Islay have been used, and the whiskies have been matured in heavily charred casks to impart that smoky flavor. As a result, what you have is an intense, smoky, spicy whiskey. Of course, it also has the vanilla and the citrus zest that you get in the Black Label, but smoke is clearly the big, bold flavor, and it goes perfectly well with your grills and tikkas. Interestingly, the double black was only launched as a limited edition for travel retail, but the expression became so popular that it has made its way into the core range of Johnnie Walker.
Because you mentioned they have added more peatier Islay malts.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have added Lagavulin to it, because Lagavulin does not go into blends.
Yeah, Lagavulin does.
So they would have added more of Kulila.
Yeah.
Obviously, that heavier charring would have added to its smokiness.
Yes.
In fact, Double Black was one of the first whiskeys probably that I bought on any duty free. So, and it's been a while since I tried it. So I have to give it a try again after Swati's description of this whiskey. Next up, Johnnie Walker Green Label, the only whiskey in the entire range that is made of only malts and no grain whiskey whatsoever. It was first introduced in 1997 as the Johnnie Walker Pure Malt, and it was reintroduced as the Green Label the way we know it in its current avatar in 2004. In fact, the Green Label was discontinued in 2012 and reintroduced in 2016. And the bottle that you see here is a slightly older one. This is definitely not the most recent bottling. However, I mean, we haven't tried the one for 2012 to know any difference in terms of how Green Label's flavor profile changed over a period of time.
It would be a good comparison.
Yeah. And as you can see, this is a very old bottle compared to the rest of the bottles here. And the reason is Johnnie Walker Green Label is sold out or pretty much stocked out across India. So if you're traveling outside India and you come across a bottle of Johnnie Walker Green Label, please grab it. So the Johnnie Walker Green Label has an age statement of 15 years, which means every whiskey in this bottle has been aged for a minimum of 15 years. And now to the tasting notes of Green Label. Bottled at an ABV of 43%, you can expect notes of chocolate, coffee, spice, and some smoke.
Next, we have the Gold Label Reserve. It was launched into the lineup in 2012, replacing the original Gold Label 18 years old. It is a Serial Award winner, and it has the single malt from Clynelish at the heart of it. Bottled at an ABV of 40%, you can expect hints of smoke, subtle spices, honey, and tropical fruits.
In fact, something very interesting about Gold Label, thanks to the Clynelish that is at the heart of it, is the signature waxy mouthfeel that you will get on the Gold Label Reserve. Next up in the lineup is the Johnnie Walker 18-year-old. The 18-year-old was launched to replace the Platinum Label. This terrific blend is bottled at an ABV of 40%, and you can expect notes of vanilla, custard, some creme brulee, pineapple, and a whiff of smoke. And this expression is a blend of 18 different whiskeys, and each of this has been aged for guess how many years?
A minimum of 18 years.
Absolutely.
Now, to the most coveted Blue Label. It is the most premium expression in the core range of Johnnie Walker, and it's also one of the most premium whiskies available in the world.
The big daddy of the range.
Blue Label is made up of the finest old aged malt and grain whiskies in Diageo's extensive portfolio. In fact, one in only 10,000 casks are selected to make this blend. Casks from Cardu, Clynelish, Benrinnes, and more are hand-selected for this blend to ensure the highest quality. Bottled at an ABV of 40%, you can expect notes of chocolate, hazelnut, caramel, honey, sweet spices, and lots of vanilla.
In fact, I get some slight smoke or smoky character to the Blue Label as well towards the end at times.
Yeah. And what's interesting about the Blue Label is that it has a very silky and velvety texture. So when you take a sip of the Blue Label, you really get to feel that richness in your mouth.
Yep, it's a very smooth, velvety whiskey.
Yep.
In fact, Blue Label divides a lot of opinions globally. It's a lot of people question whether it's worth the price or not. And I think, as you and I also consume whiskeys, and there are a lot of hardcore whiskey consumers, enthusiasts out there. And I think I understand where it comes from, is the fact that it's made so well. Everything is so well balanced, like in proper harmony. There is nothing that is jarring. So there is no standout flavor.
Yeah.
And most of us are used to whiskeys that have that heavy, robust flavors. So we tend to overlook the balance and the richness that Blue Label offers.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, every now and then, Blue Label comes up with some limited releases like the Coast and Rare.
Yeah.
Like they have, I think, 5 of them.
Yeah, in fact, there are almost close to 25 limited editions that have been released under the brand name of Blue Label.
And now for those who are wondering why this bottle is here, because this is not part of the core range, right? Johnnie Walker every now and then keeps coming up with limited releases for collectors or the Johnnie Walker fans. So that was a quick and brief introduction about the Johnnie Walker brand and its core expressions.
Let us know in the comments below which of the Johnnie Walker expressions you have tried and which one is your favorite.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.